Station to Station came out in 1976, and it is the next album by David Bowie that I'm going to be talking about. I'm really excited for this album because I know he takes on the character of the Thin White Duke, and I've seen a few videos on it, and like kind of analysis on it, or analyses, whatever the proper terminology is, and this album is only 6 songs long, but some of them are quite long. I just finished covering the Berlin trilogy, and obviously I've talked about Aladdin Sane and Hunky Dory, and I feel like another one, although I could be wrong. But I'm going to jump back to this album, and then I'm going to go even further back to Diamond Dogs, and then Young Americans. I think those are the next 2 up. I might do pinups. Like, let me know in the comments down below if I should talk about pinups. I'm not sure because I know it's like mostly covers. But anyway, talking about Station to Station, I know that I'm going to love this album just because I've heard it's very like atmospheric, and a ton of people love it. Like, I always see it in the top 5 David Bowie albums on any list I look at, and because I do know more about the Thin White Duke, that I think it kind of prepares me in a way for this album. So let's just talk about it quickly. The album is 6 songs long, as I said before. The songs are Station to Station, Golden Years, which I've heard is like the big song from it, Word on a Wing, TVC 15 or 15, Stay, and Wild is the Wind. It came out January 23rd, 1976. It's 38 minutes long, and that first track, the Station to Station track, is 10 minutes and 17 seconds, but I've heard it's a great song, and I read through the editor's notes here. Actually, it's pretty short. I'll read it again. The bridge between Young American's Philly-style soul and the more abstract Berlin trilogy, Station to Station blends chilly atmospheres with some of Bowie's most direct, powerful vocals. That really excites me. These 6 tracks are remarkably eclectic. I don't know if it's supposed to say electric. I'm not exactly sure. Moving easily from the ominous throb of Station to Station to the silly funk of Golden Years, the impassioned spiritual Word on a Wing features one of Bowie's most personal sounding lyrics, while a sumptuous cover of the standard Wild as a Wind closes the album on an unexpectedly beautiful note. Now that right there, just all that alone really excites me. I'm expecting to love this album, and I probably will because I've loved every David Bowie album I've listened to so far, at least made a video on, but I will be back in about 38 minutes. I'm going to be completely honest here. I don't know if my favorite album by David Bowie is The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and Spiders from Mars, or this one. That is how good this album is, and I didn't really think anything could pass Ziggy Stardust, but this one might. Again, I'm gonna listen to it again. I mean, I listened to it once here, and then I'm gonna listen to it tonight at work, and then probably even after that later tonight, whenever. As I said going into it, I knew I was gonna really like it. I expected to love it, but it was so perfect. Every single thing about it, and I will admit, like, I listened to it, and then I had to go pick up glasses, and then I came back, so it's been like, maybe, I don't know, 50 minutes or so instead of 38, so if I'm not perfectly clear, if I mix some stuff up, that's why. But there's just so much. One thing I really love is just the atmosphere. As I said before listening to it, I knew that it was a very atmospheric album, and you can really tell it. Like, there's something about, I don't know if it's his vocals, but I mean, that's part of it. Like, obviously the sounds are really well placed, like between the left speaker and the right speaker, or lefty or righty, or whatever you want to say, because it seems like his vocals aren't really close to the microphone like this, but they're kind of backed up, so there's like this space. Like, I don't really know exactly how to describe it. Obviously there wouldn't really be too many effects put on his voice because, you know, it was from 1976, although this is remastered, so maybe they did some work not in fixing his voice, because obviously it's freaking David Bowie is one of the greatest voices in music history, I think, but almost like adding that whole, I don't know, like the eerie kind of space, if that makes sense, vibe to it. And obviously I think this was recorded at the same time as the filming for The Man Who Fell to Earth. I always think to say The Man Who Sold the World because they're very similar, but that's a movie, and I think I finally found a way to watch it, so I will hopefully do a video on that. I wanted to react to it, but I couldn't find a way to download it or get a copy. But if you have an MP4 file or an MKV file, even that I can turn into an MP4 file, please DM me or comment down below, just some way that you can send it to me me because I would love to make a video like that. This album was fantastic. Every single song, I won't say it flew by, like it definitely felt like 38 minutes, but those were like 38 minutes that I did not want to like miss out on, if that makes sense. Honestly, this one just like passed. It just kept going. It was like, yep, better than Heroes, better than Hunky Dory, better than this, better than that. And then I was like, even better than Low. And then again, I still don't know between this and Ziggy Stardust, but let's jump into the track list. So obviously it starts off with the title track, Station to Station. And again, it's 10 minutes and 17 seconds, and it perfectly sets up the rest of the album. You totally understand kind of the vibe and the feel of it. As I said, the atmosphere, I'm going to use that word a lot here. And it introduces the Thin White Duke, whereas I think the first line is like, now the return of the Thin White Duke, but he like sings it, and just the way it's all kind of not even compressed, that's a bad way to describe it, but like the way it's all like thrown together in a way is just utterly perfect. Again, it's 10 minutes 17 seconds. There's a ton of like just moments of pure instrumental. I'm gonna actually see when the first lyric comes up. It says 3 minutes and 19 seconds was when it starts, the return of the Thin White Duke, obviously the first line here, and it's just amazing. And then it just keeps going, and it just gets better and better and better. I find what I really liked is towards the end, there's lots of repetition where it's like, it's too late to be grateful, it's too late. And it's like the way it's, I don't know, just the way it's sang is utter perfection. I think this is possibly his best album vocally. There's a certain song here that I think really deserves that title. I will mention it when we get to it, but then it goes into Golden Years, which is, I think, like one of the, I mean, obviously the biggest one here. It has its star here, and it is a great song. It is not my favorite, but it is a fantastic song, definitely like a 5 out of 5 song, although they all are in my opinion. And it is the shortest song here. It's 4 minutes and 3 seconds, which I think that's probably why it's like the starred one, or like the big famous one, because I'm guessing it was like the main single. Again, I'm not sure, or at least it's the most common one played because it's the shortest, and it's a fantastic song. I had heard a little bit of the intro, I forgot to say, but this is the only one that I knew a little bit of, but I didn't know any of the lyrics, and it was great. And then it goes into Word on a Wing, which in my opinion is probably like top 5 Bowie. This was easily my favorite song from the album, and like top 5, top 10 for sure. There's just so much emotion and everything really poured into this one. I think this is his second best vocal song on this album at least, and it honestly blew me away. Like as I was listening to it, I was like, I need to look up what this means. And basically what I came across was, it was basically his like cry for help, or like some prayer to whoever it was at the time for him, because I don't think he was a religious person, but it could have just been like some being like that's above everyone else, like not specifically like the Christian or like the Catholic or whatever God. Like I highly doubt David Bowie was like Catholic or anything, and again, I'm not a religious person at all, so I'm not really too sure on that. But there's just so much power in this song. When I was listening to it, I was like, this is one of the greatest songs I've ever heard, and I'm pretty sure it is written by him. I'll check right now. I think that there's one cover on here and the rest are written by him. Yeah, it says it's written by David Bowie, and there's just like, I don't know, he says Lord a lot in the song, so that's what makes me think it's like some prayer to, I guess, like some Lord. I think that's probably the best way I can describe it. Some Lord, some like unearthly being in a way. I don't really know what I'm saying about that when I talk about religion. I'm definitely not well versed in that category, and I don't really need to be for myself. But yes, just to wrap my thoughts up on this song, I know I kind of rambled on about it, but it is a phenomenal song, one of the greatest I've ever heard. And then it goes into TVC 1-5. I said it was either 15 or 1-5, but it is 1-5, and it is a great song. I really like the sounds and all the like the little things that are like appearing on one ear, appearing through the other, like through the speakers or the ears, whatever you want to say. Because again, I listened to all these albums with like AirPods in, like the first time, like headphones in, because of course they'll put certain sounds in different like channels or speakers basically. And I think when I'm listening to an album for the first time, that's how I definitely need to, and I'm going to a lot. Like most of the time I listen to music, it's through headphones, although there is the odd time, you know, if I do end up getting a record player, this one would definitely be one of the first records that I pick up. But anyway, I'm rambling a lot in this video. I apologize. This album was just fantastic. Then it goes into Stay, and it was this very kind of like emotional, again, like Word on the Wing was more so like a prayer for himself, not a prayer, like a call for help for himself, but this one is to someone else, like some other person. At least that's what it feels like. Obviously with the title here, it kind of explains that, and in some of the lyrics as well. Like it doesn't say specifically who it was to. You guys can definitely tell me in the comments down below, but there are some lines here that says like, I know it's happened to you, stay, that's what I meant to say, or do something like this, kind of the chorus part. There's a bunch that feels like he's almost talking to someone else, and even like it starts off with "This week drag past me so slowly," so it kind of like it feels, I don't know, there's this pain in it, and there's some pain in his voice here. I read something that said that he didn't even remember recording this album because obviously he was living on, I think, cocaine, peppers, and milk. If I can remember correctly, that's what his day-to-day basis was at this point. That's how the Thin White Duke kind of was born. And then just to finish off my thoughts on this song, I think it is easily one of the best. I mean, they're all 5 out of 5 fantastic songs here. And then it goes into Wild is the Wind, and obviously, as I said, there was another song that I think is possibly his best vocal performance, and it might be this one. Again, there were a few other ones like the Sweet Thing, Candidate Sweet Thing reprise, like that medley that I reacted to. Here's a video up here that you guys requested. Fantastic. There's a bunch, but this one, I don't know, there was something about it that just felt so special. It was another one that really hit me like We're on a Wing, that I think, I don't know, it's like there are certain songs that make you feel a certain way, and you said certain twice there, and this was another one of them. This album is one that when I listen to it for the first time, I instantly know it's one of my favorite albums. And Wild is the Wind is obviously a cover, as I said. I'll check who it's written by. I knew there was one, I think it said it in these editor's notes, but it was originally by Dimitri Tyom King and Ned Washington. I probably said that name wrong and I apologize. And it ends the album in like a kind of soft but beautiful way. Like it's beautiful, but you're not like 100% sure if you should be feeling that way. And I think it works for what Bowie was trying to achieve with this album, if he even remembers, which I don't blame him if he doesn't. But Station to Station is one of the greatest albums I've ever heard. It battles for my favorite album by David Bowie, and he is my favorite solo artist of all time. So that's really hard to come by. But what did you think of this album? Please tell me in the comments down below. I haven't really heard anybody call it their favorite of his, but I am interested if it is yours. If you're like some random viewer out here and you just came across this video, please let me know all that down below, and thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Over and out.